Hello everyone and welcome to Factorio, welcome to The Average Gaming, and welcome to this first proper tutorial on how to get started in Factorio. First things you want to know is you move around with WASD like this. Awesome. Down here you have your hotbar, you have your minimap with a lot of buttons up here. We'll cover that some later time. Down here you have your equipment like weapons. 3 different weapons is what you can hold at any time with their respective ammo down here. Here you got your armor. Right now I have none. This is your tool to dig and to deconstruct and stuff. You switch weapons down here with tab, which is not possible right now because I only have one weapon. But that's gonna come in its due course. First things you want to do is you want to grab some coal and a little bit of a life hack. If you do the big rocks, they have, as you can see on the right side there, they have both coal and stone, which is both very sweet in the beginning. So you want to mine this. Well, you don't want to start mining it right away because, as you can see on the progress bar at the bottom there, it goes super slow. What you want to do is you want to press E to open your inventory in the crafting menu. Click on the second one that says production. Craft yourself iron axe. Sorry. Some do too at the beginning. I usually do too, but I regret it and want to make one. But because of habits, I suppose, I craft too. As you can see, you mine it by holding the right mouse button. As you can see with the pickaxe, it goes a lot faster than without it. I'm not sure if we can see. There's a mining power of 2.5 versus, I'm guessing, 1 by hand. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure what your default mining speed is. Right, let's grab some of these, like this. Reason why you want stone is because stone is needed for these ones. You might as well just craft all of them right at the beginning, because you're gonna want a few of these and a few of these, but these require this one. And in the beginning stages of the game, you don't really need to worry about what the requirements are. You just have to look at the bottom right there, next to total raw resources. Later on, you'll have to worry about other stuff as well, but that's the beginning. Anyways, when you hover over a mining field like this, you just press Q, and it opens the highest tier miner you got available to you. This is the first tier miner, which is burning mining drill, which only extracts resources. So you're gonna want to place down the stone furnace, this one right here, which you need a stone for. You start with one of each. So if you don't find any big stones right next to you like this, I was lucky. No worries, you can place these down, grab some trees or grab some coal. You just click your inventory, hold control and right click, and you throw half a stack into each of them. Oops. In order to take out what's in there, you hold control and click the left mouse button, and you grab every finished product that is in the stone furnace. Furthermore, what you want to hang on, at the count of 9, or at 9 plates, you can make another burner miner drill. Just go ahead and place that down right away. No reason to waste any time right there. If you want to see what's getting crafted everywhere, you can click on Alt, and you get the little tooltip there. It's super nice. I really much enjoy that. Next up should be coal, or at least that's next up on my list. Unfortunately, on this map, coal is quite far away, so I'm going to wait a little longer in order to make a. Not sure what the proper name for it is. In my circles, we call it a coal flower, because it, I don't know, kind of looks like a flower, I suppose. What we want is 4 of these ones, 4 burn miner drills, in order to get that started properly. And what you do is you basically make a little. You have coal in one of these. You make a little circle out of them, so they feed into each other. And we got coal. And then because they feed each other coal, they'll be like a continuous machine, and you can just go and grab the surplus all along, all the time. There we go. They all have sufficient coal in them, as you can see on the right side there. You also see how many of the finished products is there, how much expected resources is underneath the drills for the miners, which is nice. Let's go up and place down a few of these ones right away. No reason to waste any time. Gonna do it like that. There we go. I'll just place right now I place a whole bunch of coal in there, which is unnecessary. All you need to start this is one piece of wood or one piece of coal, and it starts, and it will go until it's full. You can hold 50 coal in each of the miners you place down. And that's this little thing up here can be done as large as you want it. 4 is usually enough for get quite far into the game. Oops, what am I doing? Misclicking a lot there. Alright, so we want the rest of the miners. Might as well craft the rest of these as well. We're at it. I don't have it yet. Another way to place down stuff is when you hover over something, you can press Q and you grab more of what you're hovering over if you got it in your inventory. If you don't have it in your inventory, this sound comes up. Alright. Now I'm going a little more all out on the iron here than I usually do. I usually just do 4. I don't think there's any proper answer to how many you should start off with. I think it's more of a this is what I feel like kind of thing. And once you got this going, you want to grab some coal and some stone if you can find it. Everything should be within your starting area. You should have all the resources you need to get started. But once you've got stone and you've got a fair amount of iron and a fair amount of copper, or some amount of copper. You don't need that much copper in the beginning. It actually doesn't feel like you need that much copper at all, but apparently you need more copper towards the end. You don't really feel it that much because you usually tend to build up everything at the same time, which means, you know, since the beginning stages are so iron heavy, you'll feel the iron need a lot more than you feel the old copper need. What you're gonna want? You're gonna want 2 steam engines per boiler, so that means 2 of those, 1 of these, or 2 of these, 4 of these, and so on. In order to get things power, or in order to get power, which is going to be needed. And you also want one of the offshore pumps. There we go. I prefer to place things a little bit away from the water. So I usually grab a couple of pipe to ground, which I'll show you how to use in a minute. And you also want a burner inserter going down. And where do we have any trees? Do we have any trees here? We have some. Oh, we have some into coal. That's sweet. That's perfect. We're gonna want some more iron plates in order to grab more belts. That should be fine. If you click on, hang on, I'll show you. If you right click, you grab 5 at a time. If you shift left click, you grab all, and if you just left click, you grab 1 at a time, or start crafting 1 at a time. Grab that. I forgot to bring the electric miner. We can come back for that though. I don't want this set up. I think we'll go up, actually. So we'll place that there. This, as you can see, when you place it down, there's green boxes where you can place it. It goes in the water, and it pumps up water by magic, actually, because you don't actually need any power to pump it. which is, you know, in terms of beginning stages of the game, that is pretty sweet. Now, pretty standard setup for power, as you place one of these like that, and then you place two like that. Now those require some power, and for that, or some power poles, some electric power poles. And for that, you're going to need some wood, at least in the beginning stages. Later on, you can use steel instead of wood. And you got them here under logistics. Click for one. For these, as you can see on the top there, it says 2 times small electric power pole. Means that every time you click and craft one, you actually get 2 out of it, which is nice. Makes life easier, basically. But yeah, we're gonna need a electric mining drill because we don't want to run and hand fuel the power up there. We want it to be automated, which is kind of the name of the game. You want as much stuff automated in Factorio as humanly possible. If not, you'll be playing for hundreds and hundreds of hours and not even be close to done. Compared to, you know, finishing the game, and I don't know what kids do in these days, but Anti-Elite, I think his name has finished the game in 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't remember. It's a speed run though, so you know, no biters and no enemies. Now, what you want to do here is you want to throw power pole, but it covers both. How you do that is up to you. You place the belts. You see the arrow way is the way the belts bring stuff, which is nice. Inserters, output from, or grab from the line and input into the arrow, makes sense. And you want that inputting into the boiler. On the other side here, we got some mining drills, electric mining drills, which are outputting onto the belts once they get power, that is. Now that's not enough. As you can see, the red power symbols mean that there's no power getting made. They're connected to power, but they don't have any power. What we'll do is we'll just manually fuel this with 50 to begin with, just for easy. It's easier to put 50 coal in here than anything else. We'll just do that. These output on their side of the belt, so if you'd have one electric miner on the other side, that would output to the side where coal is not being put right now. That's how it does work. And I think we'll call out the beginning stages. Actually, no. Forgot about science. What you're going to want to start off with, or at least what I like to start off with, is one research lab, this one lab, and 10 of these science pack ones. It's going to take some time to craft, so while that's crafting, you can go ahead and refuel stuff and grab as much resources as possible, because you're going to use that in a second. What you want to do after the lab and the science packs is a few inserters, and that's just to get ready for the next stages of the game. Then you place down the lab somewhere in power that has power. You start throwing some signs in there. You press T, as it says up here. Press T to start a new research. Then you go for automation and click research. And then you can see the progress bar going over here. It requires 10 science packs. As you can see here, this is the amount of science it requires. And then you just, you can, in the character screen right here, or under character, you find an empty spot, you can just hold control and click the empty spot, and it inserts everything it needs, or everything that it can take. So right now it's only the red ones, so it's not that much it's grabbing, but later on you'll have green, blue, gray, purple, yellow, white signs eventually. So if you have all the sciences in here, you can just control left click a empty spot and all jumps into the right slots up here. once you get signs running, like it is, or once you get automation running, you'll want to grab a assembly machine, and with the assembly machine, you can start automating production of science packs, which is, I'm not gonna judge everyone based on what I like to do, but it makes sense because that makes you able to get further along in the game faster and with less handcrafting. And handcrafting is also slower than machine crafting. We're almost at that point right now where we can make our first assembly machine. I think it's going to need some green circuits without me. I don't really remember the recipes there. Right, so we got we got automation 1. The next thing that I like to do is logistics, which requires 20. Gives you undergrounds and splitters for your belt network, which will come in very handy. Back to assembly machines though, you want to craft 2 of them because they're going to require 2 different things. You want to leave place it with 1 gap down like that, so that you can fit the inserter in the middle. And this is going to craft science pack 1s. As you can see, science pack 1s require the raw resources is 2 iron plates to 1 copper plate, which again, it needs 1 copper plate and 1 gear wheel, which means you'll have to craft the gear wheels, right? So what you want to do, what you want to do is you want to throw the gear wheels in like this, and they require 1 plate. Easy, 1 plate. Sorry, two iron plates. Sorry. Which means I've miscalculated the amount of inserters needed. That's all good. So in order to save on the amount of boxes needed, we'll do this, like that, and craft a wooden chest. Place that there, and place some of the resources in there. Now I very much overdid it with the amount of iron plates. I'll grab some back, but this will have to be refilled. Oh shoot! There we go. This box will have to be refilled. Later on, we'll belt everything with these belts right here to the assembly machines. We'll create a so-called bus, which is a collection of belts that if you do four lengths per resource, it usually looks like this, where 4 is iron, 4 is copper, 1 or 2 is steel, and so on and so forth. And usually 4 with the green circuits as well. But that's later on in the game. We'll get to that when we get to that. Alright, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smack the like button. If it was helpful, say so in the comment section. And make sure to subscribe in order to stay up to date on all things average. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheerio.